What's up everybody, it's Royalty Crypto here and welcome back to my channel. So today I will be talking about one of the most popular layer 1 projects in the past 1 to 2 years really, that being SUI. I'm also going to go over the overall crypto market as a whole and basically talk about why I believe we are experiencing more weakness in the market, and I will be talking about some important catalysts to keep your eyes on in the next couple of days. Last but not least guys, this is a brand new YouTube channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. But with all that being said, let's take a look at the market. So as you guys can see, Bitcoin is down 2% in the past 24 hours as we are back down to $86,000. Now guys, in my opinion, and I did talk about this in my other videos earlier this week, I believe that a lot of this weakness is coming from the Japanese carry trade situation that is starting to unwind. As most of you know, there is a 98% chance that the Bank of Japan will be increasing their interest rate, and there is a lot of fear around the fact that this could force people who have been taking advantage of the low interest rate in Japan to sell the assets that they were buying with that loaned money. In my opinion, I don't think that it's nearly as big of a deal as the market is making it out to be, and I think that it is actually very likely that it will end up being a sell the rumor, buy the news event. And if that is the case, you can reasonably expect a little bit of a recovery to start potentially as early as Friday for not just crypto but also the stock market as well. Also guys, as you can see, Solana is down 4.5% today as it is down to $123.50, and Ethereum is down about the same as it is down to $2,825. With that being said, let's take a look at the SUI chart. So as you guys can see, we are currently trading at $1.40 and we are pushing down to levels that we haven't seen since about September of 2024. In my opinion guys, if you're bullish on SUI, now would be a fantastic time to accumulate, and personally I have been buying altcoins for the past couple of weeks ever since we really got into these extreme fear levels on the crypto fear and greed index. In my opinion guys, it's always best to take risks on altcoins that you believe in for the long term when there is weakness in the market and when everybody is screaming to sell and that these assets are going to go lower. It's always possible that we could continue to see more weakness in the altcoin market, especially if Bitcoin sees another leg down, but overall guys, I think that we are getting much closer to a bottom than a top, and in my opinion that gives me a lot of confidence to buy these coins right now, and I do believe that 2026 is shaping up to be a very bullish year for the entire crypto market. The reason for that is because we have so many bullish catalysts in terms of liquidity coming in the next couple of months, and I'm not going to get into that in this video because I do talk about that in basically all of my videos, so most of you are already quite aware with what I'm talking about. Another very positive thing about SUI is the fact that we consistently have incredibly high volume with this project. As you can see, in the past 24 hours we've had $850 million traded, which is quite insane considering that we have been pushing to the downside. So this does really go to show how massive the SUI community is and how much hype is still around this project, even though it might not look like it based on price action alone. Now the one downside to SUI, and the reason why I am not overly exposed to this coin, is the tokenomics. As you can see, the fully diluted market cap for SUI is 14 billion and we only have an unlocked supply of 5.26 billion. And when you scroll on down to the SUI unlock chart, you can see that we basically have steady inflation with this coin for the next 4 years. So this is undoubtedly something to keep in mind when you're investing into SUI, and it definitely does increase the overall risk when you're investing into a coin like this, because essentially SUI will need to outperform the inflation if you want to make money with this project. So if you're planning on holding SUI for the next 2 to 3 years, you might as well just think that the market cap is 10 billion at that point, because in 2 years, once that amount of tokens are in circulation, it will be equivalent to that. But guys, in my opinion, I do think that SUI is still a very promising layer 1 blockchain, as technology wise it is one of the best, and it is the 4th biggest crypto project in terms of mindshare for 2025. So I think that it's reasonable to believe that this project could get really anywhere between a $30 to a $100 billion market cap. I know that's quite a wide range, but it is very difficult to predict an exact price target for projects like SUI. But nonetheless, if we are able to achieve the $30 billion market cap, that would be about a 6x from here. And if we were to reach the $100 billion market cap, that would be about a $25 SUI. Now remember guys, when you're trading altcoins like this, it's always important to take profits on the way up. And if you're watching my videos, I will be going over different indicators and letting you guys know when I personally start to take profits on these coins. However, that is not financial advice, and please do your own research outside of this video. Okay, so now let's talk about some important catalysts to keep your eyes on this week. As you can see here, the Consumer Price Index, aka the CPI, will be being released tomorrow morning. This is the most important inflation indicator, so we really want to see this come out cooler than expected tomorrow morning. If that is the case, it could slowly but surely start to increase the potential of us seeing another 25 basis point rate cut in the next FOMC meeting, which is late January. The more that we continue to lower the federal funds rate, the better it is for risk on assets like crypto, because it weakens the dollar and injects liquidity into markets. But regardless of what happens in the January FOMC meeting, I still think that it is very likely that later this year we will lower interest rates potentially 3 to 4 times from this level. Now, the reason that I believe that is because Trump gets to appoint the next Fed chair in May of 2026, and Trump has been outspokenly for cutting rates as much as possible, and he has stated that whoever he decides to pick for the Fed chair will be in line with what he wants. So that does give me a lot of hope for more rate cuts regardless of what happens in the early stages of 2026. Alright guys, and last but not least, I did want to talk about this tweet that has to do with Bitcoin, because as most of you know, I don't believe we will be seeing an altcoin season unless Bitcoin has another leg up, and I think that it is the most important chart to be watching in crypto, even if you aren't personally holding Bitcoin. So as you guys can see, the Bitcoin RSI is actually at the lowest level it's been at since we hit $16,000 in 2022. And if you guys were around during that time, that was the absolute bottom, basically right after FTX collapsed. And in my opinion, whenever you see the RSI at levels this low, it is often the bottom for Bitcoin and crypto. And I wouldn't be surprised if 85,000 ends up being the bottom, and if 2026 actually ends up being incredibly bullish, even though most people think that we're going into a bear market. Typically, most people are wrong in terms of the direction of the market, and it really does seem like 80% of people are incredibly bearish on crypto right now. So that does just give me so much hope that there will be another leg up. But I don't know, guys, what do you think? Do you think that we'll see bullish momentum return to these markets sometime in 2026? Or do you think that everybody is right about the bear market starting right now and that we will actually see a bearish 2026? But alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a great night, and I'll be talking to you tomorrow. Peace.